Here is my brief summary of the Canadian news headlines found on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation's website for Friday, October the 26th, 2018. As always, no copyright infringement intended. Bell and Rogers present their case in the Canadian Radio and Television Commission's or Telecommunications Commission's probe into telecom sales practices. Indigenous Me Too catching fire in British Columbia First Nations communities. Toronto real estate agent reveals new details in killings of billionaires Barry and Honey Sherman. As lending gets tighter, Canadians face threat of credit card trap, according to Don Pittis. Admit he was poisoned, family of Steve Fobister Senior demands of federal and Ontario governments. The family of former Grassy Narrows First Nation chief Steve Fobister Senior is demanding that federal and Ontario government officials acknowledge that Fobister died from mercury poisoning brought on by industrial dumping into the English Wabigoon River system. The Canadian Senate votes to implement Asia-Pacific trade deal, putting Canada in line to ratify early. I'm not leaving, says Yukon woman camped on public land with 50 dogs. The Yukon government claims that she's breaking the law. France pushes appeal decision in Hassan Diab case to next year. New Northwest Territories man becomes first convicted under Criminal Code for unsafe drone use. New cannabis and impaired driving penalties could bar newcomers from Canada. Canada is to apologize for the treatment of Inuit with tuberculosis in mid-20th century. I will literally bite my tongue off. Vernon pickleball feud spills over into British Columbia court. Gun control groups say proposed handgun ban is needed before the next federal election expected in October 2019. Fighting for his life, fisherman recounts harrowing rescue from waters of Malpec. Something called a job is the way out of poverty, not basic income, Ford says. The new progressive conservative premier of Ontario, Doug Ford. Coquitlam wrestler says eating vegetables and wrestling boys key to her world title. Federal Liberal government to release fall economic update on November the 21st. Grocery store Apples now have their own trademark management companies. Kenyan Shear being the federal official opposition and conservative leader, vow to fight lies of oil and gas opponents. The poll cast a price on pollution or a tax on everything. Supreme Court clears way for Air Canada cargo price fixing lawsuit.